The U.S. State Department imposed sanctions on 8 Hamas officials and facilitators aiming to dismantle the networks that support the funding of the terror outfits. U.S. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller said that in an official, statement, he said that this is the 4th round of sanctions imposed since October 7th attacks by Hamas. The statement also added that the U.S. is closely coordinating with the UK and allies in sanctioning Hamas as part of the continuous effort to prevent and deter Hamas activities. All right, joining us on the broadcast is Colonel Shraddhan Singh. He's a defense expert. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for joining us on NewsX. Now, all right, sir, before I propose a question to my colleague Ajay Jandal, in fact, joins us on the broadcast to give us more on this. Ajay, over to you.
Pardon, please repeat the question.
Ajay, we're talking about how the U.S. State Department has imposed sanctions on 8 Hamas officials and facilitators who are in fact aiming to dismantle the networks that support the funding of the terror outfits. If you could tell our viewers more on this.
So the U.S. State Department on Wednesday imposed sanction on 8 Hamas officials and facilitators aiming to dismantle the network that support the funding of the terror outfit, and which led to the attack on the Israeli land, and a number of people that they were killed in that attack. So that is why the U.S. Department spokesperson Matthew Miller said in an official statement that this is the 4th round of sanctions we imposed since October 7th attack by the Hamas. So number of 8 people, they have been identified, and then action has been taken, and sanction has been imposed by the U.S. State Department.
Right, absolutely, Ajay. With that, I'd like to thank you for joining us on the broadcast and sharing those details with our viewers. Meanwhile, I'm being told that Mr. Sanjeev Srivastava is still with us on the broadcast. Now, sir, of course, we were just discussing the drift that is now, in fact, evident between Biden and Netanyahu. But in fact, with that also in place, the U.S. State Department is now imposing sanctions on 8 Hamas officials and facilitators that are aiming to dismantle the networks that support and fund the terror outfits. Of course, while there is a rift, it's not like, the ties between the two countries are coming to a complete standstill. What do you want to say on this?
Well, this kind of steps by the U.S. State Department and the U.S. side clearly indicates that they are very much with Israel in their war against terrorism, and obviously the United States of America is targeting Hamas in whichever way possible, so that it gets weakened and it gets decimated and destroyed. And that's what the United States of America has been saying consistently, that they want to see Hamas defeated. And that is why such actions are being taken. And to support Israel, United States of America also has deployed enormous military resources around Israel in the Eastern Mediterranean Sea and elsewhere. And United States of America's backing and support to Israel is very much continuing. But at the same time, United States of America is also urging Israel that they should do their best to provide humanitarian aid and collateral damages, civilian casualties should not be done. People of Gaza must be taken care of, and this entire operation should be done in such a way that only Hamas terrorists get defeated. And for that to do, Israel will have to take and chalk out a lot of smarter and better strategies. So I think that is also humanitarian angle the United States of America is insisting upon. But it is very clear that the United States of America's support to Israel in their war against terrorism there, and I think that support will remain, in my assessment. That is not going to go down. But yes, U.S. is also continuously insisting that Israel will have to take a lot of care and caution while going ahead with their operation, considering the already enormous amount of collateral damages and civilian casualties which has happened in Gaza, in which a lot of innocent lives have been lost.
Right, absolutely, sir. Meanwhile, in fact, stay on with us. We're also being joined by Colonel Shadhan Singh on the broadcast. So appreciate you joining us. Of course, what we are essentially talking about is how the US State Department has imposed sanctions on 8 Hamas officials. And this is in fact coming in as we see a rift between Biden and Netanyahu. So of course, you know, it's not like the relations between the two nations are collapsing, but what do you want to say on this, sir?
States always see his business in every aspect. So if because of relations with Israel, if relations are getting spoiled with Arab countries, then he will not like to support Israel for very long. But yes, against terrorism, America is always supporting every country, but he is not coming out in open with any country. You must have seen Ukraine, Russia war also. He kept on supporting Ukraine, but he never sent his soldiers. And same way elsewhere also, except Afghanistan, he had not sent any troops anywhere. So, at the cost of his interest, he will not support Israel, because other Muslim countries are they are indirectly supporting Hamas and Hezbollah. So he will not go out of way, and he will just maintain his nominal relations with Israel.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.